Americans for Tax Reform has some new numbers out on tax rates in states with Republican versus states with Democrat governors. There's a huge difference, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Americans for Tax Reform President Grover Norquist in the studio in New York today, paying a rare visit. Grover, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Okay, I'm going to give the numbers. I'll get right at it.
Good.
I think I'm right in saying that in states with Democrat governors, taxes have gone up $58 billion.
Since 2011, yes.
Since 2011. In states with Republican governors, taxes have gone down $36 billion since 2011. Got that right?
Correct.
That's an extraordinary divergence.
They're moving in different directions because not only do you have governors wanting to go in different directions, but we now have 24 states with a Republican governor and both houses Republican. So the Democrats can't stop a tax cut. And there are 13 states like California, Illinois, Maryland, where the Democrats have both houses of the legislature and the governor. So the Republicans have no say. They can't stop tax hikes. Illinois is the worst state if you don't like taxes. It's the best state if you like higher taxes. Biggest tax increase, $13 billion since 2011. Right behind it is Maryland with $12 billion. Again, when you have united government, it can either go towards lower taxes, Texas, Florida, or towards higher taxes. And the 50 states separating out over the next 10 years. And because of redistricting, the red states will tend to stay red through the decade, and the blue states will tend to stay blue through the decade.
This separating out, and obviously that's an extraordinary separation in terms of taxes and taxation. They're going the opposite direction. Yeah. You think this speeds up and becomes more extreme, that the two sides will be even more apart?
It will feed on itself. As taxes are cut in red states, more hardworking people with incomes will move there. More retired people with assets will move there. And more people will be left in blue states who think that voting is sort of like working. So you have a real challenge.
When I first saw that number, I thought, good heavens, America is really divided. That is a bad thing. But you don't think so?
It's healthy. When the federal government does something stupid, it's hard to tell whether it was an economic downturn or bad policy. But when Illinois raises taxes rather than reforming pensions, and Indiana reduces taxes and reforms government, they're right next to each other. And you can see whether anybody builds a factory within 100 miles of that border on the Illinois side in the next decade. You can see what works and what doesn't.
But you know, there was an editorial, it was an op-ed piece, I should say, in the New York Times, Saturday morning. Two economists say, we've got to stop this movement from one state to another. They really didn't like Toyota moving from California to Texas because the governor of Texas gave them $40 million worth of tax breaks. Come on over. They don't like that. They think that's wrong. They don't want this competition, even as the two sides pull further apart.
You're going to see more complaining like that because left of center folks don't like the embarrassment that is blue states failing and having pensions that go bankrupt in Detroit, and red states doing better, reforming their pensions so they don't go bankrupt. So they're going to try and end the competition.
Can you make the blanket statement that where taxes are going up in states dominated by Democrats, taxes are going up, are they economically off that state? That in states where taxes are going down, Republican states. Can you make that judgment?
The direction is yes. Now, some of these states just turned red or just turned blue recently. And so they started with an advantage or a disadvantage. So what you want to look at, and this is why the next 10 years are so important, you're going to see Texas get better and better, but also other states which only recently became red states like Ohio and Michigan and Wisconsin. They started in pretty bad situation. They're getting better.
You know, it's interesting. Sorry, Stuart. We were talking about how, you know, companies are getting criticized for moving from one state to another to reduce their tax bill. What's gone unnoticed is how our Democrat politicians have also physically moved to other states to lower their tax bill, like Howard Metzenbaum moved to Florida to lower his estate tax bill, and John Kerry moved his yacht to neighboring Rhode Island to lower his property tax bill on his own yacht, which would have been higher in his home state of Massachusetts.
You're preaching to the choir here. This is no government.
It's interesting.
But, yeah, that competition is very healthy, and it's also what's going to save California and Massachusetts and Illinois or Texas and Florida and Wisconsin. Good examples help compete against bad examples.